Welcome to the Inherent Identity Podcast, a place where you can learn the secrets to living as the best version of you. It's not about changing, it's not about becoming, it's about remembering. It's about recovering what you've always had within you, but you just keep getting distracted and you just keep forgetting. Join me, your host, Tyson Bradley, as we discover the practical steps for easily and effortlessly creating a lifestyle that lasts. Hello. So this is Tyson, and I want to share something with you because I remember being on stage in front of over 1,000, probably like 3,000. I can't remember. It was a sea of people. Bright lights were on me. This was the largest stage I had ever really performed on, really largest audience I had ever performed on. And I count it as a performance because I was being the MC, the master of ceremonies for Mastermind 2022 for life coaches, for the Life Coach School. I think I unofficially earned that title when I did the 2019 event, and it went really well. And I find that when I'm on the stage and the lights are on me and I just come alive, I feel alive. I yodel, I sing, I created introductions for each of the speakers that I had made up like the day before. And I just remember being on the stage and feeling that sense of aliveness. And I don't know about you, but you know how you do something that you're really good at or that you really enjoy, and you just feel this sense of being at home, and you feel like this is my element. I think that these kinds of experiences is what everyone yearns for, where you can be in a profession or at least spend the majority of your time doing your thing, being in the element, being in your zone of genius, your zone of ultimate authentic expression, right? That's how I felt. And I remember afterwards, people coming up to me, saying how fun it was, how engaging it was, how my performance made that event even better. It added to it. It made it special. It made it unique. It made it awesome. Some people asked me, they said, I don't know if you teach a class on how to show up like you did, but I'd be willing to buy that class because I would like to show up like that. And after this event, I kind of lived off of the high of everyone's praises for maybe a month or two. And I kept thinking about how amazing it was. And so I thought to myself, hey, maybe I should put on my own event, right? I'll put on my own event because if I love being on stages, then let's be on more stages. And let's create the stage. It's like, well, maybe I could get on someone else's stage or whatever, but I want it to be my event. I want to control every aspect of it. So I went through the work to put on an event. I reserved the place. I created the material. I got the people to come. I printed off all these booklets of what they were going to do during the event. Everything was pretty crazy. And there were miracles that happened to make it all come together too. I had a friend that was willing to help me out with kind of like the putting it on Zoom for those that couldn't be there live. And I remember doing it everything worked out amazing. I did the event. People's lives were changed. And we even had lunch, all these things that were prepared. I go home and I am just spent. I'm so tired. And I remember just sitting on my bed thinking to myself, is this what I want? remember sitting there thinking, man, that was tiresome. And also thinking, I don't know if I want to do that again. I did the experiment, I tried it out, and I am not sure whether or not this is something that I would enjoy doing again and again and again. And maybe not me preparing everything and doing all the groundwork to make the event happen, or maybe it's something different where I just show up. Or maybe it's not even speaking at all. Maybe my zone of genius is just in being on stage, making a goof of myself, and loving every minute of it, making people laugh, loving that. Maybe that's me. And I don't know if you've ever experienced just those times where you're not sure about who you really are and you question, is this really me? I say that I like this, or I say that I enjoy this, but is it really me? Is it really what I want for my life? And so this element of wanting, it's at the time of this recording, it's Cyber Monday, and there's plenty of wanting going on in the world. Every Christmas, every time that a birthday comes up, every time that you are expected to receive gifts of any kind, there is wanting that occurs. I think it's awesome. I think it's so good for us to want and to start recognizing what it is that we want. The not so good part is thinking that in receiving those things that we want, that our lives will be changed, that happiness will be on the other side of the new iPhone, the new gizmo, the new gadget, the new course, other things like that. And so I just want to share with you an insight that I gained when I went to a recent workshop with my coach, Andrew Thorne. And I'm just going to give credit to him for sharing this model that he calls the identity pyramids. And just to describe one of the sides of this coin is what he calls the world's perspective. And I might call it the natural man, or the brain's programming. This is kind of the way we grow up. And at the bottom of this pyramid, it's pretty simple. If you just think about a pyramid with words on it, at the bottom we have performance. And this is really kind of the actions that you do. So we go about life and we do certain actions. We do things, right? We have certain behaviors. And growing up as a kid, what ends up happening is, as we do certain things, we gain approval or disapproval. So at the second step, there's performance at the bottom, and then a step up is acceptance. And so when we do certain things, are we accepted? And not really a self-acceptance, more so a world's acceptance. Now, for me, growing up, I was just naturally goofy and funny. And it's funny because I see this in my own girls. I have a 7-year-old, Kate, and she sometimes she tries to be funny. She's loud. She makes random noises at random times. And then there's Ellie, and she's about to turn 5. And she is just goofy, and it's silly, and she does random things, and it really is funny in what she does and how she acts and the faces that she makes. And I can't help but see myself in her, because that's how I was. Anything to get a laugh, anything to get a smile from people, that's what I did. And as I thought about this, because even growing up, I always reflect on, I have these nostalgic memories of being in the Teton Mountains with extended family, being around the campfire, and me just doing accents, making jokes, and everybody erupting in laughter. I have, a few aunts that just laugh at anything and everything that I do. And I love them because they laugh at me. And I feel this warmth and this acceptance from that laughter. It's as if I am home when people laugh at me or laugh with me. And so here we have this performance. I put on this show, and then I receive acceptance from what I do. So I do a funny thing, I receive a laugh. And then what ends up happening is that this ends up becoming my identity. And that's at the top of the pyramid. So the just three parts of this pyramid. At the bottom we have performance, in the middle we have acceptance, and then at the top we have identity. So in other words, we do things, we get accepted or not accepted or rejected, and then that shapes who we are, or it shapes the way we think about ourselves and our self-concept of who we think we are. And so I remember sitting and hearing this model, sitting in this chair, writing down notes, and all of a sudden it dawned on me. I thought, oh my goodness, this experience of performing, receiving acceptance, and this identity, all of that was like my growing up. All of that is that goofy part of myself. Because I would do things and receive those laughs, and I describe myself as like, I am a funny guy. I'm good at being on stage. I'm good at entertaining a crowd and interacting with people, and that is what I'm good at. That is who I am. That is what I do. And so we start to build this identity around the acceptance I received from the world. And I remember sitting there and I thought, well, wait, is that who I really am? Is that who I want to be? And that's the big question here. Is that who I want to be? Because on the other side of this model, this coin is a different kind of order in terms of these identity pyramids. One pyramid is based on the world's perspective. The other pyramid is based on the spiritual perspective. And what we start with at the base is we start with identity. We start with us choosing who you want to be. And then you do. Who do you want to be? And from that being, then comes the doing, comes the performance. Identity, then performance, and then acceptance at the top. But this acceptance is not acceptance of the world. This is a self-acceptance. Because if you can choose who you want to be and you align your actions with that being, then you do those things and you can live with this sense of integrity. Like truly, this sense of integrity where you are doing and living in alignment with your values, with who you want to be. So it goes identity at the bottom, performance in the middle, acceptance at the top. And this, for me, that is what I want. That is the experience of life that I want to have, is that I choose who I want to be. I do the things that align with that being, and then I accept myself and live in that joy of being myself. Because where does the desire for you to be the certain kind of person that you want to be, like, where does that even come from? Some people, they want to be, I think a lot of us might want, is like, for me, it's like, I want to be loving, but how? What kind of loving? I want to be encouraging. What kind of encouraging? We might think that there's these universal desires of being, but there's just these unique expressions of them. And that's what's unique about all of us, is that we have these unique expressions of how we want to show up. I want to be abundant, but what kind of abundance? What kind of abundance do I see in other people's lives that I want to model, that I see people and they just so willingly share and give, and they pay for people behind them at, through the drive-through or whatever. It's like, is that who I want to be? Is that the kind of abundant? Is that the kind of giving I want to have? Or is there a different kind of giving? Is there a cause that I want to give to? Do I want to have my own charity? where I give to a specific kind of thing, specific kind of challenge. So I want to share those pyramids with you, and in part because after I went to this event and I started talking with my coach, I said, hey Andrew, a lot of people talk about how they talk about how would your 8-year-old self love what you're doing today? And as I thought about this for myself, I kind of had this conflict because I thought, well, my 8-year-old self is someone that's the goofy claymation making, balloon tying, unicycle riding kid that loves to make people laugh. And if he saw older Tyson doing a podcast, writing a book, speaking on stage, would he like that? Or would he rather Tyson be a clown? What would he think? And to me, there's kind of this discrepancy or this dissonance, because I think to myself, well, I don't know. I think that maybe my younger self might want to be a movie maker or a music maker, like to make music and to go perform on stages and places and to just have fun. But when I think about where I am in my life right now and what I'm doing, I enjoy it. And I'm finding that I love to write, that I love creating stories, and I love learning about stories. And there's something that's been that I've always enjoyed about the power of stories. And so I asked my coach this, and I'm like, I don't know, there's this dissonance. What do you think? And he's like, well, I don't think our souls are static. In other words, I don't think that our souls are fixed. It's not like we grow up with these innate abilities and talents, and that because those are our talents, that signifies our purpose and our calling in life. But rather, our souls are dynamic, they're fluid, they're changing, they evolve. And as I heard that, I thought, well, yeah, like I just noticed within myself just this sense of, I don't know if that old version of me, the version of me that seeks for this fun, loving, or just like goofy, like do crazy fun things, self, improv and other things. I don't know if that's my goal, my aim, where I want to take my life, who I want to be. I don't know if that's who I want to be. Because in part, that version of myself, that identity that I had as a kid, was reinforced by what the world thought. Now, if I were to try and be, I guess, funny and not receive that acceptance, I don't know if I would be doing the same things. I'd probably be doing something else, because that's not something that I would enjoy. And yet there are people who have this like burning desire to I remember reading the story of this woman who wanted to rap. She just like received kind of this, vision from God, not really a vision, but kind of a whispering that said, "You are a rapper." And so she went to this club. She was this white girl, went to this club where people could like free stand, like free mic night rap. And she was so horrible, but she kept coming. She kept coming and she kept coming and she kept coming. And pretty soon, kind of a bunch of the guys that were there, like that were actual rappers. They said, "What are you doing? Here you are, this white girl trying to rap, and you're horrible. And are you going to stop? Because it's painful." And she's like, "No, I'm not going to stop." And they said, "Well, if you're not going to stop, we better start teaching you how to actually rap." And so they started teaching her, and then she ends up becoming this amazing rapper. So this is what's so fascinating, is that, are we going to base our identity off of what the world says. Now, the world can either accept or reject certain things. Or are we going to just choose who we want to be? And we might even have a vision, or we might have a whispering. We might have this sense and this calling that's given to us that says, you are this. Don't you see? Or maybe you have never experienced this before. Maybe you've never experienced rapping before, but don't you know that that's who you are? And then we start trying it. And we might fail. And we might fail a lot. But the question is, am I willing to continue in just being that version of myself just because it feels aligned? And for me, what feels aligned, what feels true is more so writing. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what's really super fun is that I've got this book. I've written the first draft and it's coming out. Like it's coming out to the world come New Year's. And it's going to be the perfect timing because it is the best knowledge that I have that has helped me to create habits, to sustain change, and to do it in an easy and effortless way. Because what the book helps you to understand is this idea of your inherent identity. To reclaim, it's like, that's the title. It's like, reclaim your inherent identity. The 5 steps to easy and effortless change. Now, the thing about this book, and it's kind of, I guess, the thing about this book is that I want it to be, and I believe it must be, the most applied book in the world. In order to make that happen, I have to put it within a container. I have to create the experience that I want to create with it. And that means that none of you can have access to it via Amazon, via the bookstore, via whatever. The only way for you to get this book is by joining the membership that will be launching in New Year's. And this membership is different in the sense that I call it the Inherent Identity Family, because that's the experience that I want to create, is a family, is an opportunity for people to actually feel like they belong, they can show up as themselves, and that they can improve and have accountability, have support, have help in honoring and following through on what their heart truly yearns for and on who they really are and discovering who that really is. And so those of you who want this book, and the thing is, I'm going to offer it for free. So you can get a trial membership. Once I launch it, you can join for free. You can get 2 weeks. You could read the book. It's like, you'd have to read the book within 2 weeks before you get charged or whatever. But I want to offer it for free to the world and to give it to you and to set up a way for you not only to be able to read this book, but to be able to apply it. And there's videos and other things that I'm going to have in there for all of you. So I am way excited about being able to offer this to the world, to be able to offer this to you, my listeners, because I know that it will change things, that it will be the pivot, the linchpin, the experience that will change things for you so that you can finally start making progress in the things that you have struggled for years to be able to do. Now, to go back to this sense of wanting and recognizing that maybe, just maybe, the things that you desire, and it's Christmas time, and a lot of you are desiring things. Maybe the things that you want, maybe they are true desires. Maybe they are things that you really do want or are curious about or think would make your life better. And in part, the only way that we can actually find out whether or not that's true is by you getting the thing. Because, for example, we think that, I'm trying to think, I might think that a Tesla would be what I want. And deep down inside, I know that ideally what I want, I just want an electric car that I don't have to take in for an oil change, or go to the gas station that I can just drive it around and charge it at home and other places, and I'll experience that. Now, I won't really know the value of that until I get that car. And so if any of you want to buy that car for me, then let me know, because I'm not to the point where I want to spend my money on the car. But there is something that I do want to share with you that I don't know. I just had this thought to do this, because in part I have been experimenting with the things in life that I just resist or that are difficult for me. Example of this is to not overeat at dinner time. Another example of this is cold showers. Another example of this is being able to choose not to watch a show in the evening with my wife. All these are examples of ways that where I've noticed my brain wants to keep that habit, keep the habit of having a second helping of food, keeping the habit of watching a show at night, keeping the habit of taking a warm shower instead of a cold shower. And all of those moments where I notice my brain wanting to do those things, I have to take a step back and I think, okay, right now, in a sense, my agency, my ability to choose is being challenged, where my brain is offering and saying, hey, you should definitely eat some more, or oh, if you don't watch a show, then you're really missing out. And there's just kind of this pull, this grab, this neediness to it. And I think to myself, can I choose to not watch a show tonight? Do I really have that ability to choose that? Or is there such a pull here that it's hard for me to choose a different route? And that's super important for you to start to recognize. And so in the same theme, I thought to myself, could I choose not to receive any Christmas gifts? I've had the habit of receiving. I've had the habit of pretty much knowing exactly what I want. And usually it's one large or expensive thing. It's usually just one expensive thing. I just want one thing. That's all I want. And then I usually get it because that's the only thing I want. And I don't want any other little thing. And so this year I thought to myself, could I choose not to? Could I choose not to receive? And so in part, and in telling you this, I kind of want to do that. I just want to choose not to, like, for me, not to purchase the thing that I want. Now, does that mean that I won't accept gifts? No, that doesn't mean that I won't accept gifts. My wife has already bought me things, and so I'm going to accept them. But I'm choosing not to buy myself something, I guess is what I'm saying. And can I choose that? But one thing that I do, I wanted to throw out there and share with y'all is that I created a list. I found out that you could create a registry, and it's not attached to any specific store. So I created this list of things that I want. And I'm going to put it in the show notes, in the description. You can see this list. And if you wanted, you could buy me something. And it might be crazy, for me to even say that. But you never know. I think, in my mind, what I think would be super fun is that we all create this, a registry of the things that we want, and we share it with the world. And to be honest, I would love to see some of yours, and I would love to buy you something, because it is so much more fun to receive something that you never knew was going to come, and open it and be surprised, and to experience what giving and receiving feels like. And so, if you're, or maybe, and maybe you're just interested in what the things that I want in life. What does Tyson want these days? So I have it in the show notes. You can check it out. And other than that, I definitely just want you to sign up at inherentidentity.com, where you can get on the wait list for this program that I'm launching, where you can receive the book for free. You can try it out, and you can see how this can change your life. So happy wanting, everybody. Love you all, and we'll talk to you later. Hey, do you want to create your best life? Do you want to live into it? If that's you, I want you to come and check out inherentidentity.com. This is the place where you get to learn the easy and effortless way to living into your dreams. So once again, come check out inherentidentity.com. We'll see you there.